Caddis Maximus here, this time with a review of the Lenox 605 or 60918. These are the 5-piece precision screwdriver set. Let's get to this packaging here. We'll use that little skill color. There's like a Works brand, a couple other brands. You just search for mini rechargeable cutter, and I think you can still find some similar units. This Lenox set appears to be a Lowe's exclusive. I was looking online, you can't find it anywhere besides there, and they certainly charge quite a bit of money for this little set. What I mean is $15 on the shelf for 5 screwdrivers. A little bit expensive, that's for sure, but I guess for the quality, you know, lifetime warranty, I shouldn't complain too much. Here, ready to go. Let's go ahead and do our little close-up real quick here. Pretty decent consistency. That is a nice cushy overmold, and that's part of what really attracted me to these was that comfort grip. And let's get a real close look at these tips here, if we can get them just in the right light. Maybe if I turned it this way and pulled away from the camera just a little bit. The tips all look pretty good. Let's pull these 2 Phillips out because that's what really makes a difference. This set is a 3-piece set of flatheads and a 2-piece set of Phillips. For a lot of the stuff I work on, I actually prefer a 3-piece Phillips versus the 3-piece flathead. But for people who work on really small screws, having this extra super tiny driver may actually work out for you. That has a real sharp blade, not quite watch size, but about as good as you can get for a precision screwdriver. If we can get some focus here, these black tips really absorb a lot of light. Alright, I think I got just the right angle here. You can see that the tips are not too bad. They're actually really nicely shaped, pretty consistent. It is, if we can just get the right focus here, there we go. Really pretty nicely made. I like the shanks. I really like how these things feel. Excuse me, if we compare to this Harbor Freight set, which is super compact, but I've been finding that they're just a bit short to my liking. The tips here, and let's get the same size. Okay, we're gonna have a decent comparison. I also brought out my old American-made rigids that are like 15 years old or something. The rigids are some of the best I've ever encountered, at least on a brick-and-mortar store. So there's the rigid. Here's the Lenox in the middle. These are all rated at number 0 Phillips, so all 3 of these drivers are stamped to drive the same size screws. And then here's the Pittsburgh, if I can just get it to cooperate here, at least with the lighting. The Pittsburgh's much smaller. I think it does indeed fit the same size screw, but the tip shape is significantly different than it is from the Lenox, or the rigid for that matter. And if we do compare, besides the sizing, we can see that they're a nice intermediate size, if I can get some zoom out here. And I like that a lot. As I was saying earlier, these little Pittsburghs are nice in some situations, but they really are a little bit kind of awkward to grab when you're actually trying to maintain pressure and remove screws. You really don't have quite as much purchase on them as you do with something a little bit longer like these Lenoxes. I like their shape here. One thing I will comment is nowhere on the driver are they stamped, even though they wear off, the stamping is wearing off on these rigids. It would be nice if they did have somewhere where they had the size on it, but they do put plus and minus, so that at least helps you differentiate if you just decide to put these in a tool bag or a drawer of tools. That grip really is pretty nice. It's pretty soft, so it's not a grip that you'd want on a cordless drill, but on a little set of screwdrivers, I think it's really nice because it actually is pretty darn cushy. If we get just I don't know if I can get the right angle, but it's really fairly thick. And the back caps, they seem to slide pretty good. These rigids are totally smooth, but these really aren't too bad. And the whole purpose of those rotating caps is so you can maintain pressure and then rotate the driver while you're pressing down, because obviously it's very easy to strip out tiny screws. So overall, I think these have pretty good ergonomics. They're a nice size. You even have a nice little area in the middle where if you do need to get a little bit more torque on them. And as compared to what I would consider the baseline, these rigids, I think the rigids are still just a little bit more ergonomic, just because they have a slightly larger barrel diameter, and that's a folly with a lot of these little drivers. Like, these are much better than the old metal handle ones, just because the metal handle ones are just so tiny. So overall, I think they did a pretty nice job on these little precision screwdrivers, and even though they're kind of pricey, I think they're worth it, and time will tell how well the tips hold up. But I do like the way they look, and that whole grip and the shape kind of makes them have a much more professional grade feel. Do just wish they were a little bit cheaper. As far as the kit box, it's actually a really nice box, and it's probably a couple dollars of the price of these is that box itself. It's actually a pretty substantial acrylic case. But, you know, nice packaging does help sell stuff. More than likely, I'll be pulling the drivers out of the case, just because cases use up so much space. But it is nice that it's there for the people who want it. On a side note, I was just realizing that these little drivers don't have any kind of hex or bumps on the handles, because as I was laying these out, they really want to roll around, and even the ridges have some kind of a little detent or something on them. And the way the Harbor Freights are flat, they don't want to roll around on you. And I was just realizing that. I think that's something they may have missed. Anyway, I really appreciate everybody who's been subscribing and who has been watching the Catus Maximus channel. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Until next time, Catus Maximus out.